Welcome back to College Hill Farm. Well, today we're going to talk about complementary and alternative medicine. Now, in other words, we're going to talk about herbs. Crystal has an extensive herb library, and I'll try and put a picture up of that. She has all manner of herbs that she uses. Now, why don't we show you that on the channel? The reason being is there are so many YouTube channels out there that show you herbs, and they tell you to make this tincture and take it, or make that tincture and take it. This will help your high blood pressure. This will do this, or this will do that. This herb will cure your diabetes. Have you seen those? Have you seen those claims? Most of them are out and out bull sugar. But herbs have been used in Eastern medicine, Native American medicine, granny doctors. My grandmother's mother, my great-grandmother, she was a granny woman. In other words, she knew every herb in the woods or every weed in her garden to counteract every ailment. Now, she was born in 1882 or 1883. Is that right? Yeah, 1882 or 1883 is when she was born. So she was born well before they ever had antibiotics. Okay, she was the type of person that would have used a maggot to clean out infection in a wound. Okay, they use that again today. They still use that. So she was a granny woman. My grandma says she wished she had wrote down all the stuff that Granny Creech knew. But she didn't do that. She didn't write it down. So there's no record of any of that. So there are lots and lots of people that purport to be herbalists, and yeah, you need to be careful. You need to be really, really careful. Now, if you came to this, go away, mosquito. If you came to this thinking that he's going to tell us he's been using herbs to counteract his multiple sclerosis for the last 22 years, because I do not take any disease-modifying agents for my multiple sclerosis. If you have MS, okay, you were recently diagnosed with MS, don't go that route. Let me explain. Multiple sclerosis is a debilitating disease. Okay? I'm lucky. I'm not in a wheelchair. I do pretty good. I still can climb a ladder and work on stuff here. I can't get on a ladder in the orchard where I'm looking straight up, because I'll just fall off the ladder. It's just, I can't do that. That's why I built the picker for picking apples and picking pears and that kind of stuff. I do things to modify the work that I have to do to meet my disease. But MS is a debilitating disease. It comes on slow. Some people it comes on strong, and it debilitates them in just short order. It's called progressive multiple sclerosis. I had the other kind, relapsing remitting. Now, I haven't had a regular attack of MS in a long time. I probably have a progressive version. A lot of times you go from relapsing remitting into progressive. But as people age, once they get older, there's not as many attacks and there's not as much progression. I'm 61, and there's a lot of debate among the communities out there that whether or not you should continue the disease-modifying agents once a patient gets to be 60. Okay, so a lot of debate about that, but I have not taken any disease-modifying agents. I started off with Copaxone when I first was sick, and it gave me such anxiety that I couldn't do it. I couldn't take it. So I had to quit. And I haven't taken a disease-modifying agent. I take stuff to treat the symptoms, okay? I take things that allows me to treat the symptoms. Now, do I do herbal medicine for that? Crystal makes some salves and things to help me with the problems in my joints. I have problems from the ulcerative colitis, and the medicine I take for the ulcerative colitis makes me ache in the joints. And Crystal makes a salve for that. She makes a couple of other salves for different things. Helps me with the muscle spasms, things like that. Now, why don't we show that on the channel? It's really important that you pay attention to what you're using. First off, herbs don't have a standard unit of measure. Let me say that again. Herbs don't have a standard unit of measure. How much of that herb do you take to lower your blood pressure? Okay? Modern medicine has standard units of measure, and they can titrate the medication to help with your symptom. So, complementary medicine has been a big thing, especially among the MS community for a long time. Everything from Reiki to faith healing to a lot of other things. If it won't hurt you, then okay. If it makes you feel better, okay, that's good. Herbal medicine is one of those things that can take you out. Now, there are a lot of herbs out there. Just my field up here, okay, just my hay field has a lot of herbs in it, okay, and I'm going to start a series where I'm going to go and we're going to look at the weeds on our property, and I'm sure there are weeds like it on your property. We're going to look at the weeds on our property and the medicinal things that they can be used for. I'm not telling you to take them. As a matter of fact, you should consult a physician before doing any herbal supplement. Okay? But the truth is, it's your body. You do what you want to. Okay? But it's swallowed a bug. Stupid mosquitoes. They're killing me today. Anyway, we're in the middle of a heat wave. It was 101 yesterday, and today it's supposed to be 98, and here it is 9 a.m. in the morning, and it's already 84 degrees out here. I'm sweating like a horse, and my clothes are soaked. But the herb stuff, you have to be careful. I take a medication for my ulcerative colitis. I had my infusion 2 days ago, and the infusion makes me very tired. It used to really wipe me out, but I've gotten more used to it, and it just makes me a little tired, and it gives me a little cough. Well, there's an herb for cough. Okay, Crystal makes a little herb for cough. So, yeah, you know, hibiscus tea is nice to soothe your throat, but you have to be careful. Does any of that counteract some of your other stuff? I'm also a diabetic, okay? So some of these things can alter your insulin production. It can alter your body's ability to use the medications you're already taking, okay? Let's say you're on blood pressure medicine. You've got high blood pressure and you're having a hard time with your high blood pressure. So you decide to drink a tea that's designed to lower your blood pressure. But you've been taking medicine for your high blood pressure for a long time, and you've got it pretty much in control. But what you think is you can take that tea and it will lower your high blood pressure. Well, two things can happen. Number one is you take that tea and you take your blood pressure medicine at the same time, and it bottoms your pressure out and you fall down. Maybe hurt yourself. Okay? Or your pressure don't come back up. Alright? You could do that. Or you decide, well, I'm not going to take my medicine today, and I'm going to just drink that tea. And the reality is your body didn't react well to that tea, and it doesn't lower your blood pressure, so you're at stroke level. Okay? There's no way to know that stuff. There's no scientific studies for most of the herbal shit on the internet. Alright, I'm a scientist. I've been a scientist for, I graduated with my degree in physical sciences in 1984. Okay? So I've been a scientist for 40 years. 40 years. And I'm here to tell you, you need to be careful with this complementary and alternative medicine. Regular medicine is an art. It's not a science. It's not always correct. We're not all Buicks. We're not all Cadillacs. Me, I'm probably a Yugo. I may be a fat Yugo though. I don't know. Anyway, you know, you got to be careful with that. So before you go out and just grab some herbal remedy thinking that it'll take care of this or it'll take care of that. For example, touch me not. In the woods, in the winter, or in the fall, late fall, touch me not is blooming. It's got the little seed pods on it. When you touch them, they explode. It has another name too, but we've called it touch me not out in the woods forever in Appalachia. That's what we've called it. And you get stinging nettle on you, or you get poison vine on you. You break the stem of that touch me not and rub the juice on that stinging nettle and poison vine, and it stops immediately. Stops immediately. Does it absorb into the skin? I don't know. Okay? You don't either. There's no scientific study about it. But if you've got poison vine, you can put that right on it, and it dries that poison vine up. I don't know why, but it does. It's just one of those things that I learned a long time ago out in the woods before I was even a scientist. There are things like that. My mom and dad used to drink ginseng tea. Dad had ulcers. He would drink ginseng tea. That was back before they understood about H. pylori. Okay? Now they give you an antibiotic cocktail, and it cures your ulcers. For a lot of ulcers. Not all of them, but a lot of them. But back then, Dad drank ginseng tea or yellowroot tea to calm his stomach. Okay, so that was a common thing in Appalachia. People used complementary and alternative medicine because medicine wasn't always available, and insurance wasn't always available either. Okay. Marijuana. Okay. Marijuana. Hemp oil. The hemp cannabis oil. Okay. The cannabinoid oils. These are all things that are being really touted right now. Most of them have no evidence-based practices in using them. Okay. No evidence-based practices. Now, me, when it comes to marijuana, if it wasn't illegal, let me say it again, if marijuana was not illegal, I would make brownies and pot butter today. I'd grow it here on my property and make it today. But since it's still illegal, in Kentucky, marijuana is getting it's going to be medicinally used, but no insurance company will pay for it. So you got to come up with the money for that out of your pocket. I wouldn't recommend smoking marijuana to anybody because that brings other things into your lungs, ash and that kind of thing. Edibles would be the only way to go if I'm going to do marijuana. As a young man, I loved marijuana, okay? As a young man, I loved a good doob, okay? But after I became a teacher, go away, mosquito. After I became a teacher, I couldn't rightfully tell children not to do stuff that I was doing every day, okay? So I quit. So that's one of those things that, and I never was a heavy-duty pot smoker, okay? I wasn't a head. But I did enjoy a doob every now and then. So, you know, there are a lot of things out there that make radical claims without any scientific evidence. Scientific evidence is the ticket. You need to know. Now, once we've made medical marijuana available, and it's available, it'll be available to me because I have multiple sclerosis. I'm probably not going to go and ask for it because there are other ramifications. Okay? There are other ramifications. What happens if I've been doing edibles, and I haven't had one in 4 or 5 days, okay? I haven't had an edible in 4 or 5 days, so I'm not stoned. But I go down the road and somebody hits me, or I mess up and hit somebody else, okay? Accidents happen. Immediately they want to drug test you, especially if you go to the hospital. They almost immediately give you a drug test. Well, immediately I would have cannabinoids in my blood. They would say I was under the influence, even though I wasn't under the influence at all. They would say I was. So that might make my insurance balk at paying. Okay? It might make my insurance balk at paying. It's also might cause other problems that I don't know about. So yeah, I don't do that. Most of the time, the things we do might be a tea of an edible plant, using basil or using hibiscus leaves or hibiscus flowers to make a tea for sore throat, or making a rub or a tincture for skin irritations, or for joint and muscle pain, that kind of thing. But we've not been big on ingestible herbals because I take a lot of medicine, and yeah, Crystal doesn't take hardly anything. She takes a few things, but she doesn't take much medicine either. But there are things that herbal medicine can have a great place, but you got to be careful that you're not harming yourself. Okay? Herbal medicine can harm you just as fast as traditional medicine. So you got to be careful of that. Herbal medicine can harm you as fast as traditional medicine. Now, I'm going to do some shorts on Fridays that will go over the different plants I have here on the homestead that have herbal properties. And y'all can see that. Now, before you take any herb, consult your physician. It's just, you know, people will go to the store and they'll get ginkgo biloba, or they'll get this, or they'll get that, or they get mahang, or yeah, dangerous stuff. You just don't know how well those have been manufactured. You don't know how close they actually were with their product controls. None of that is controlled. Okay, so it may not be safe. Think about that before you put stuff in your mouth. Now, if you like this stuff, this homesteading, do-it-yourself kind of thing, be certain to come on out to the channel and subscribe. We do this homesteading stuff every week, sometimes 1, sometimes 5 videos. Just depends on what's going on in the homestead that week. Now, if you hit the little bell, it'll be right up here when you come to the channel. It'll notify you when we upload a video. We upload on Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. And now we're going to upload on Fridays and Saturdays for shorts. Now, it's time for me to get on to the next thing.